Welcome to one of the first in a series, hopefully, of InDesign tutorials aimed at creating a newspaper, simple newspaper layout. So here we go. I'm going to create a new document. I'm in InDesign CS 5.5. Should be fairly similar for all of them for the things we're going to be doing today. My page size, I want to be tabloid, and my columns, I'm going to make 5. I think it makes for a nice even distribution of columns throughout the page. Okay, so here's my new document. You can see the full size of the page. Default on your ruler is going to come in picas to make it more understandable. I like to change it to inches. You have to do it on both the top and side ruler. And then you can see what to me is an understandable 11 by 17 inches. Okay, looking back in our original, we're going to create a section header, article title, subtitle, byline, some body copy with a drop cap or raised uppercase. Let's do this in here like that. Start to the line, photo caption, and a photo box. So, how do we do all this stuff? Let's start with the section header. First things first, I'm going to make a box up at the top, about 2.5 inches deep. Staying inside of my exterior gutter, and drop it down to, let's take it to 2.5 seems too deep, 2.25, I like that. I'm watching this left side over here as I'm creating my box so I know how tall it is. Now right now it has no fill and no stroke. If I click on the default, it gives it a stroke. If I click on the flip-flop, it fills it with black. Simple enough. Create my section header title. Going over top of that, I'm going to create a text box out here so that it doesn't turn that into a text box. Just keep it separate for nice stuff. And I'm going to type in section header. It's obviously very small, and I can go up to the top of my tool text options and go to 72, and it's pretty large, but it's not quite large enough. I'm going to go ahead and type in 110. Be nice and big, still fitting in there. Now when I move this over top of my black box, I can't see it anymore. Right? Let me stretch this to make it the right size. What I'm going to do to see it is highlight everything and change my fill color from black to white. Simple enough. Center it. So now I know since my box goes from side to side, it is centered on the horizontal. And then this little guy here is our baseline shift. Give it a negative number. You can drop it down a little bit if you'd like. Nice negative 10. It seems to look pretty good to me visually. That's not fantastic. I'll bring it down to negative 15. Maybe 16. That looks better. Okay, what's that? Just a glitch. Okay. Next, we're going to need a section or an article title. I'm going to go 3 to 2 on this. 3 columns for my article and 2 columns for my picture. Keeping my gutters intact, that's the space in between my different lines or columns of text. But I'll allow my article title to span across them. And I'm going to put this at 36. Okay. I'm using Minion Pro because it's the default. I like using a good serif font for a title. It's a little bit fancier. 36 is a nice size for a font title. But I want to make for an article title, I want to make it bold and really stand out kind of nice. Generally, my article title is going to be longer than 2 words, so I have some extra room going to the right here. Let's just tighten up our box, leaving it just a little bit of space underneath. And go ahead and make another one. Now this is going to be our subtitle. Keeping the same width. Tighten article, subtitle. This we're going to look for 18 point. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit at this point so we can see what we're doing. A dash like it should be. That's 18 point. The other thing we want to do though is make it italic. Okay. And just slide that in right underneath. little space below. We're not going to set any rules for spacing or anything at this time, but just know, a little space between leaves you breathing room. Okay. Next thing we're going to need is a byline before we start our article. We want to tell people the name of the article, a little bit more information about the article, then we want to tell them who wrote it. Byline's only going to be one column. Byline, and that's tell the name of our article, of our author. To really set this off, we want to go bold, but we also want to totally differentiate from any sort of titling. And let's do that by choosing a sans serif font. Just really close to Minion Pro is this Myriad Pro, which is a nice plain sans serif font. We'll make it bold so it stands out even more. And we're going to put that at 14 point, just slightly bigger than our body copy. Put that right underneath there. Just enough space for it. Okay, breathing room. Next we'll do our body copy. Start that just underneath here and fairly arbitrarily set it down just for the purpose of this. Push it up just a skosh. And to put our body copy inside, or to figure out what body copy we're going to put in there, how much we can put in there, we're going to right click in this new text box and choose this fill with placeholder text option. What that does is it generates lorem ipsum, which is like a fake Latin, basically something that is done to figure out how many words you can put in something. So again, you make your text box and choose fill with placeholder text. I'm going to do that one more time. And notice up here at the top, it worked out that time, but see how the lines turn green when they're all lined up, saying, yep, okay. InDesign likes to line stuff up nice, so we'll let it. Right click, fill with placeholder text. That's weird. Shouldn't have done that. Anyway, it generated a little bit too much text, so we'll take a little bit out. All right. These aren't real words anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we can tell how many words are in each box by looking at our info panel. 64 in that box. Should be about the same in this one. 57, close enough. And this one's going to be a little less because it's shorter, 50. We're going to first drop this down, and then we're going to try to line them up and make sure they're good. They look pretty good. I don't know. But it's going to change when I add this first letter here. A larger capital letter, make that 18, kind of start off our article nicely. And then what we can do is we can bring down a guideline, rest it across these two, and we see now very easily that these two are lined up real nice, but this one could come up. So we've got that same amount of spacing there. We can probably fit another line of type in here now that we did that. However, the next thing we want to do is link these all together so that if I make an edit in this part here, it pulls from that one or adds to this one, and we get a total word count for the whole thing. How we're going to do that is we'll start here. I want to cut this one, take all that type out, put it down there, add a space, and paste. It did give us that extra line. Good. So now we've got our little plus box, which means that there is too much text for this box. Well, that's good. When you click on it with your black arrow, it's going to pick it up, put it over here, and now these two boxes are linked. So that if I were to take some text out of here, as you can see here, I'll take 2 lines out of this one, hit delete, it pulls it up from the center one. Control Z to bring that back. Let's do it one more time, and you'll see the linking chain as I cut this, paste it in there, grab my black arrow. As soon as I pick that up, you see the icon becomes, it says like a link chain. It says, you want me to link those 2 boxes together? That's what those icons mean. Yes, yes we do. So we can still go back here. We can still choose fill with placeholder text. We can get every last little bit of it in. All right. And then we can highlight across all 3 We should be able to get a word count. Yep, word, 177. All right. That is what we can give to our writer and say, you have 177 words to tell your story. You have so many inches of this to write your title at 36 points, or so many letters in order to do that. And then we'll talk to the photographer and tell him, you have a fairly square kind of a box within to work your photographic composition. And that's as easy as that is, to put a picture box in. I use the rectangular frame tool. You may want to add a little stroke to it. The default is just a 1 pixel stroke. We can come over here and bump it up if you want to make it really seen. 2 or 3, something like that. And we want to add just underneath of that one more little text box and line it up with the bottom here for our caption. Now, just like the byline, I'm going to put the caption in a sans serif, set it off from the rest of the article so people know that it's not part of the article. I'm going to drop it down to 10. So that'll be our Myriad Pro and a 10 point. You can make it bold, have it stand out, be a little bit more readable. And you could even bring that up so if you needed to add an extra line or two. You don't want it resting on the text box, but you could leave enough room for 2 lines of caption. That's fine. Last but not least, once you get your picture and you get a little negative space in the picture, I like to tuck a little photo byline, and I'll even do that in an 8-point font in somewhere in the negative space. That's all we've got today. I got to answer that phone call, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Have a nice day.